भैया IIIT चलोगे?
जी कैसे जाना है?
बस गोविंदपुरी से लेफ्ट।
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Govinpuri Se Left Season 2. This time we have with us a pair of very interesting people. जब हम बात करते हैं स्टूडेंट लाइफ के बारे में, हम लोग सोचते हैं एक ही चीज़। श्रेया, क्या है वो चीज़?
जॉब कब लगेगी?
Exactly. So with us today we have the convener for the student placement and a member of the Placement Committee, Neev and Jayan with us today.
So guys, एक बार listeners के लिए अपने आप को introduce कर दो with what you do in the Placecom.
Hi guys, I'm Neev. I'm the present student convener of placement and कुछ नहीं, बस बाकियों की प्लेसमेंट लगवाते अपनी पीछे छोड़ देता हूँ.
Dedication कहते हैं इसे. हाँ, जयन.
Hi guys, so I am Jayan. I am a member in the placement cell and member तो नहीं, but I would say an advisor to the Placement convener.
Sure.
जब हमारे convener busy थे अपनी placement लगाते हुए, एक मैं ही था जिसने संभाला था Placecom को.
Oh.
Let it be known, yes.
चलो अगर संभालने के बाद में आ ही गए, लेट्स स्टार्ट ऑफ विद द एलिफेंट इन द रूम. इस साल का प्लेसमेंट फॉर एनी यूनिवर्सिटी इन इंडिया इज नॉट नियरली वेयर इट वाज लास्ट ईयर. तुम लोग कैसे मैनेज कर रहे हैं इस सबको?
So this year has particularly been very challenging for all of us, and I mean as Placecom students we really want जो लोग जिस कंपनी में अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, अगर 50 लोग हैं वहाँ पे तो 50 के 50 वहाँ पे रहें.
राइट.
आई मीन ऑनेस्टली लास्ट ईयर जब मैं खुद था ऑन द सेकंड फ्रंट, जब मैं इंटरव्यूज दे रहा था एंड द मेंबर्स फ्रॉम माय टीम वर टेलिंग मी कि यार यू गॉट रिजेक्टेड एंड एवरीथिंग, तो इसमें मतलब वो इतना बुरा लगता है ना
राइट
पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे. एंड इस साल तो मतलब वो ऐसा मन कर रहा है कि जितने लोग हैं सब प्लेस हो जाएं.
राइट.
मतलब बस अब क्योंकि इतना टाइम हो गया इन सब चीज़ों को देखते हुए, और लोगों को मतलब बस ये है कि लोगों को खुश देखना है कहीं एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम कि दे हैव कम टू दिस कॉलेज टू गेट अ जॉब एंड फाइनली दे हैव समथिंग which they can look up to in the future.
मतलब I mean you would relate your job of saying rejections to like the kind of soldier who goes home and is like आपका ये मर गया है, right? ऐसा तो लगता होगा कि because it's like a real question of life for a lot of people.
शेर आज बड़े टाइम बाद बहुत लोगों की प्लेसमेंट लगवा के वापस आया.
This is what we say to the Placecom students. So like हर कंपनी में दो बच्चे होते हैं, 2 to 4 people जिनकी ड्यूटी होती है. वो सुबह 8 o'clock आते हैं along with the students who are sitting for that company, that interview particularly, and they sit till like 9-10 and try to convince the company to take maximum number of people. And like it's not just the students who are interviewing, it's also the various Placecom students. They have to put in their hard work, they have to do everything to make the company happy in all normal sense and nothing else, right?
Oh God.
But yeah, so the main perspective is कि अगर as Jayan said, अगर 50 लोग किसी कंपनी के इंटरव्यू में बैठ रहे हैं, we would want all 50 of them to get cleared from that company and get into that company. And that is what we try to complete from placement cell. This year has been particularly very hard because of recession. Last year हमने almost 100% placements complete किए, but इस year we are still struggling at that point and we are trying to reach there. We are putting in much more hard work than what we were putting in last year. But वही है, धीरे चल रहा है इस बार. Last year, within a span of 3 to 4 months, we were able to achieve the target which we intended. This year, that same target we tried to achieve, but we are trying to put in more time into that.
Yeah.
ठीक है, so ज़्यादा महीने लगेंगे, but उस target तक पहुँचेंगे because we are ready to put in our very best. But we would also love all the students too.
I'm sure all students are getting uplifted ये सुन के कि अभी है hope. कि बहुत लो, जैसे अभी जयन ने कहा ना कि इतना सैड हो जाता है जब तुम्हें एक रिजेक्शन मिलता है कि तुम्हें होप इन अ लॉन्गर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम कम हो जाती है. लेकिन जब तुम खुद की प्लेसकॉम से सुनते हो कि नहीं यार अभी हो जाएगा, तुम थोड़ा और दे दो, थोड़ा वो पुश के साथ ही इंसान आगे बढ़ेगा, आई थिंक. एंड ये तो चलो उसने बोला जैसे आयुष ने कि इंडिया में हर जगह ये है, तो तुम्हारे एक्सपीरियंस में डू यू नो कि बाकी कॉलेजेस में भी इतना ही डिफिकल्ट हो रहा है टू गेट प्लेसमेंट्स राइट नाउ, इफ यू नो एनीथिंग अबाउट दैट?
So being a part of Placecom of IIIT Delhi, we have tried to being contact with most of the other placecom cells from other colleges. And the worst thing is that this condition is not very prevalent in just our college. ये हर college में हो रहा है all over India because recession has hit very hard. We know about tech jobs mostly because हम में से ज़्यादातर लोग tech jobs के लिए बैठते हैं. But it's also affecting the non-tech jobs. Even in like colleges of DU, like जैसे SRCC हो गया, they have reached a mark of like 10 to I think 15% placements अभी तक. But those 10-15% companies are like good companies with a good package of around 20 lakhs. But that's the thing कि उधर भी बच्चे उतना ही स्ट्रगल कर रहे हैं जितने यहाँ पे कर रहे हैं. यहाँ पे बच्चे स्ट्रगल करके बस एक अचीव करना चाहते हैं. इट्स एक्चुअली वेरी नाइस टू हैव दैट वन जॉब ऑफर इन हैंड. मेरे पास 2 लाख कम होंगे, मेरे को नहीं फर्क पड़ेगा, बट वो एक जॉब ऑफर होगा. दैट सर्टेनिटी इन फ्यूचर कि लाइक इस सेल्फ स्टार्ट मे बी आई पुश फॉरवर्ड ओवर द फ्यू ईयर्स. दैट इज वन थिंग विच आई वुड वांट टू से टू ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स, नॉट जस्ट ऑफ आवर कॉलेज बट ऑल्सो ऑफ द अदर कॉलेजेस इफ दे आर लिसनिंग, कि तुम्हें ना बस लगे रहना है. मैं एक्चुअली इस रूम में भी जो लोग बैठे हैं, मैं तुम्हें भी बता सकता हूँ और पहले भी बोलता था कि इसमें नहीं हुआ कोई बात नहीं यार, अगली में ट्राई करो. उसमें नहीं हुआ कोई बात नहीं, अगली में ट्राई करो. बट लर्न फ्रॉम योर मिस्टेक्स, वर्क ऑन इट एंड देन इम्प्रूव. That's how you're going to go forward. That's how we're going to achieve the target which we intend. It's not for us, it's for the people who are sitting in the placements.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking about that, you did speak about good companies coming in, and especially during recession times. I wanted to ask you, placement cell का क्या role है in maintaining relations with big companies and making sure they keep visiting us, right? What is the placement cell's role in building these relations and making sure कि the students are getting these offers in the future, in the past, in the present?
मतलब सबसे पहले तो आई वुड से कि लाइक जैसे ही लोगों की इंटर्नशिप्स चल रही होती हैं, सो वी हैव 2 cycles दैट गो ऑन, द इंटर्न्स और द प्री फाइनल ईयर्स एंड द प्लेसमेंट सीजन फॉर अस. तो अब इसमें है कि जो बड़ी कंपनीज होती हैं, दिस ईयर इन पर्टिकुलर वी डिड हैव अ फॉल इन हैविंग दोस कंपनीज ऑन बोर्ड. बट मतलब इसका रीज़न वाज नेवर कि हमारे कॉलेज में we did not welcome टैलेंट की तो कमी आई वुड से इज नेवर देयर. एंड मतलब जो भी कंपनीज यहाँ कॉलेजेस में हमारे कॉलेज में स्पेशली आती हैं, दे से कि दे हैव इंटरव्यूड द बेस्ट सेट ऑफ पीपल दैट दे हैव टिल नाउ. एंड मतलब हमारे कॉलेजेस में लास्ट ईयर तक वी हैड सम ग्रेट नेम्स दैट केम अर्ली ईयर एंड उन्होंने काफ़ी सारे रोल्स लिए. इस प्लेसकॉम डज एंश्योर कि मतलब इनका एक्सपीरियंस इतना अच्छा रहे. बट प्लेसकॉम से ज़्यादा जो स्टूडेंट्स इंटरव्यू कर रहे हैं, दे श्योरली मेक एन इम्पैक्ट ऑन हाउ वेल दे रिप्रेजेंट आवर कॉलेज. हम लोग एक लेवल तक हम लोग कंपनी का इंश्योर करते हैं कि दे हैव अ स्मूथ प्रोसेस ओवर हियर, एंड हम लोग यहाँ पे इंश्योर करते हैं कि सब कुछ मतलब एकदम अच्छे से हो. बट it is ultimately the students that represent what talent we have, what skills we have in our college.
Absolutely.
I think उसी से वो recurrence of the company की ये पिछला बैच इतना अच्छा था और हमारे लिए इतना अच्छा रहा है, is why they will want to come back. कि अब लेने ही है freshers तो अच्छी जगह से लेते हैं, tried and tested.
I mean, from my personal experience, the company that I am in, उसमें there are few seniors from our college, and I think अगर वो लोग वहाँ पे नहीं होते तो I would not have gotten offer from that company.
The alumnus mattered a lot here.
Definitely. And हमारे alumnus ने they have proved to be instrumental in their roles in their various companies. So I believe we are setting up a good foundation for our future batches.
Neev, just wanted to ask, does this go both ways? Does it go in a positive and negative direction? Have you ever faced a negative reaction because of maybe unfavorable outcomes from a company's end?
So as Jayan said, we have some companies which are the recurring companies, the top big tech firms. They are the ones who are coming to our college just because we have had a great alumnus there. Every year they've had one of the best placement cycles they can visit from various companies, and they always praise the type of hospitality and the type of students which IIIT Delhi holds. And even for that 1 or 2 days of placement cycle, they would come back next year and year after that, just because they find it to be one of the most fittest college to hire freshers from, right?
Right.
But there are some companies, these are mostly the newbie companies whom we try on every year. Every year we have around 30% companies which are new,
Oh.
right? And we try to tap into these new companies.
New for the college or
new for the college. New for the college.
Okay.
So most of these companies are recurring companies which are coming over the last few years, which already has a good alumnus network.
Right.
But we try to tap into 20-30% of the new companies every year. So some of these companies have very high expectations from the students, something which given in the present condition is not very favorable.
Right.
And for example, if going into the technical sense, they would require a student from a final year BTech, maybe in an EC branch, to have a fair amount of knowledge about hardware, VLSI, as much as an MTech student would have, and they would compare the two. So the BTech final year and the MTech final year.
Right.
For us, we know that doesn't make sense. That is not the right way to choose a candidate, especially a BTech final year. So that is when they kind of have a negative impact, and they try to prefer an MTech candidate over a BTech candidate. But that is one thing which has been happening only with the companies which are coming for the very first time. But after, if they repeat coming the next year, they understand, because since they've been in contact with the placement cell, they have had a good hospitality, they have had good experience at IIIT Delhi. They try to understand how exactly are the varied set of students here. One important factor was that in our college, we have multiple computer science plus X branches, right?
Yeah.
So for a new company coming, they feel that what is this computer science plus X specialization? How is it different per se? But the thing is, they don't understand that all of this comes under the computer science domain. All of them have the same set of knowledge. They may have specializations in other areas, but they have a unified
good base
in computer science. And that is what we try to explain to a new company, but they obviously take some time to understand that, and then they respond accordingly.
It makes sense, क्योंकि प्लेसमेंट के बियॉन्ड भी अगर मैं किसी को बताऊं जो इस कॉलेज के बारे में नहीं जानता है कि ये CS प्लस लाइक सोशल साइंस क्या होता है, उन्हें उसका आइडिया भी नहीं है, तो इट मेक सेंस कि कंपनीज विल टेक टाइम टू अकस्टम. But
and इसके चक्कर में like many people when they are sitting for their interviews, the companies do think that कि नहीं मेरे को तो कोर CS वाला चाहिए.
They don't know what's the fusion.
कोर CS क्या होता है उनके सेंस में.
वो डिफरेंशिएशन जब आ जाती है एक, तो इट इज मोर लाइक कि नहीं यार CS तो इन्होंने भी करी है, बट दे आर डूइंग समथिंग एक्स्ट्रा. उस पे दे जज पीपल, एंड विच इज समथिंग आई फील कि मतलब कंपनी लाइक दिस the CS plus X that we follow based on the US patterns that is there, this should be made aware to people, and जिससे मतलब ये होगा कि they realize कि यहाँ पे कितने लोग कंप्यूटर साइंस कर रहे हैं. मतलब I would say कि अगर हमारे बैच की strength is around 550, उसमें से we say around 450 people are doing CS. This is the highest strength that is ever there in college. बाकी जगह तो बहुत branches होती हैं. आप यहाँ पे सोचते हो कि EC वाला बंदा CS में जाए या CS वाला EC में जाए, वो सब चीज़ें यहाँ पे बहुत मिनिमलाइज्ड हैं, एंड यू हैव अ सेट ऑफ पीपल जहाँ पे फोकस करना है.
आई थिंक वो एक एडवांटेज है कि तुम्हारे पास CS प्लस समथिंग है जो कंपनीज अभी रियलाइज नहीं कर रही है, बट कर लेंगी सून इनफ.
स्पीकिंग ऑफ सीइंग the entire placement process, there'll be a lot of people. I think there'll be 4 semesters worth of people जिनको नहीं पता है कि ये इंटरव्यू का सीन क्या है, राइट? व्हाट हैपेंस, हाउ डज वन गेट इनटू अ कंपनी? एज प्लेसकॉम पीपल यू वुड हैव द मोस्ट आइडिया ऑफ द वाइडेस्ट रेंजेस ऑफ थिंग्स. तो एक एक करके लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट स्टेप. एक एक करके जस्ट ट्राई टू walk us through, all our listeners through what exactly is the placement journey.
Sure. So basically, for example, the second year students right now, so they'll be contacted by the placement cell in Jayan. They'll be asked to make their resume and upload it in the documents in the folders which we have, so that they start preparing for their placements, because they'll be sitting for their internship season next year in July, right? And that's how it starts. And the pre-final year right now will be sitting for the placement season next year in July. So for those of them, the first and second years primarily, who do not know how this process goes, and even for the further batches, so basically first thing is you get a resume built. You work on the core values, the core courses, as Jayan said, and the core teachings which you need to know, which a company expects you to know, so that they can teach you more on the same.
Yeah.
And other than that, they want to see if you have done something extraordinary, if you have some very good achievement, something which they are looking for, and something to show that you can learn and get the work done.
Right.
Just these two things. So the placement process goes in 3 ways. First is the test. So for any company, you get to register for a company whenever they come on the Superset portal. Then you sit for the test. If
All
you clear
companies will always have a test?
Yes, almost 99% of the companies always have a test.
Okay.
Right? There are 1% exceptions, which there are everywhere, depending on the company and depending on the way they want to screen their students. Right? But most of them try to keep a test as a screening out place.
Okay.
They also get your resumes uploaded. So after you give the test, based on your scores, based on your resume, you get shortlisted for the next round, which is the interview. So the test can be online or offline, and same is the case with the interview. If the company is in a hybrid mode or is located somewhere else, they may try to get the interviews done online. But in the other case, in most of the cases now, and even in future, these companies will be coming to campus for a proper physical interview, which will go on for around 3 to 4 rounds, mostly, which includes the technical round, the HR round, and the managerial round, along with a potential GD, a group discussion round.
Okay.
So any student who is planning to sit in the placements anytime in future, they need to be prepared for this. They need to know what all they have been taught. They need to know what all they're putting in their CV, and they need to be able to communicate whatever they're doing properly to the next person, because that's the most crucial thing. I may have all the knowledge in the world, but if I can't communicate it to you, then that doesn't make any
point.
sense.
Because
There
you
is no
don't
point.
perceive
behind
it.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
So for anybody in future, they need to be prepared for this. The technical knowledge and the skill sets you have is as important as your communication skills and how you communicate.
Yes. A follow-up question to this. Jen, I want to know, does the, like, when they are choosing you, finally 4 rounds हो गए, test हो गया, क्या वो तुम्हारा assessment on whether you should be placed or not, would that be dependent on the final round, or is it a weightage of everything that's happened?
I think it's all. It's obviously the weighted average of the score of the weighted average that you get for each of the rounds. I mean, final round is sort of like जो
Because
interview.
people treat it like levels, right?
Yeah.
कि मेरा पहला round
ये
clear हो गया,
तो, हाँ,
right? Yeah.
मैटर ही नहीं
तो
करता.
मतलब ये है कि मतलब अब हर राउंड में every round is sort of like consider this as a game, right? So you have these checkpoints that you have to reach. तो अब round 1 है कि they try and test the basic fundamentals that are there in computer science or any like it's obviously computer science for us.
Yeah.
And तो इसमें they obviously check the basics that are there. Once they know that you know the basics, they then go for the problem solving skills of the student or any other thing. So धीरे धीरे these levels scale up, and finally जो round होता है उसमें the final round is always the HR round. जो last technical round होता है उसमें they know कि yes, this person is technically fit for our company. Right. But एक HR round is always necessary for a company, just to make sure that the cultural or moral values that the person has, do they incline with the company's goals? And I have seen many people going off on their HR rounds just because they are not able to clearly communicate what they how they represent themselves, how they feel the company is to them. So इस सब की वजह से मतलब बहुत कुछ affect होता है. But yes, the HR round is basically a marketing round where you just have to sell yourself and just have to say कि मतलब yes, I am the one you are looking for.
All right. I think that concludes the end of our question answers round.
Let's get to the rapid fire round. हम तुम्हें questions देंगे और तुम alternatively answer करोगे. First thing that comes to your mind, we'll keep it short and crisp so that it's actually rapid fire. Fine. First is Jayan, stress students.
बैन हो जाओगे अभी.
और stress कर दिया. Okay.
Neev? Same question.
De-stress हो जाओ, आगे काम हो जाएगा.
Neev is the motivator, right? Okay. Neev, full day of placements.
Very hectic.
Okay. Jayan?
Good lunch food.
Please come perspective है ये. तुम अगर कर रहे हो इंटरव्यू कुछ नहीं मिलने.
One thing to look forward to is the lunch.
If you have friends in the Placecom, they might give you a treat or two.
True. Okay. Jayan से करते हैं. The first thing you do once you get your placement.
Party. And obviously the unsaid GPL that happens.
And Neev?
Yaar, GPL is a mandate. You can't escape that.
GPL means great praise and laughter.
Let's go ahead with that. Let's go ahead with
You
that.
knew that, yes. Okay, and that actually concludes the rapid fire.
All right,
That's
guys.
all we have. But we hope you enjoyed coming to the podcast, and we really hope हमारे listeners को बहुत ही useful for the future placements also, not just this batch. तुमसे insights मिली हैं, and I hope the season gets better for everybody who is not placed yet.
And thank you for being here, guys.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks guys, chill मारो, सबकी placement लगेगी, साथ में party करेंगे.
अरे
Thank you guys.
ये
सबकी
हमारे
लगेगी,
episode का
सबका होगा.